It's not true. It's not even close to true. Also, it begs the question, why? Governor Whitmer and other political candidates, we've touched on this in the past. I think we'll have a link here to a previous segment that was more in depth, but a lot of you have been asking about this because this is clearly a talking point du jour from the left. And by that, I don't just mean the media in this case. I mean, this is the actual platform of the DNC to lie about this. There is clearly a talking points memo that has been handed out to candidates because they are all using the same lie over and over. It's not even close to being true. And I'll address it as quickly as possible as opposed to as thoroughly as possible, which we have done in the past. Here's the claim that they are going to tell you that guns are the #1 killer of children in America.
I'm angry that in this country and only in this country, the #1 killer of children is gun violence. As governor, we need to act.
Mr. O'Rourke, a question for you now.
Gun violence is a leading cause of death for children and teenagers in this state. Why are you waiting to save lives?
The leading cause of death for young people in Georgia isn't car crashes, it's firearms.
The leading cause of death among children is a firearm. The leading cause of death of children, do you hear that, my Republican colleagues, is a firearm.
Guns are the #1 killer of children in the United States of America. The #1 killer. More than car accidents, more than cancer.
I'm furious that in our country, guns are the #1 killer of our children. As a governor, I know we can and must act.
Okay, here's the truth. And by the way, all references are available at louderwithcrowder.com. Okay, year after year, from 1980 all the way through 2020, the #1 killer of children in the United States, of all children aged 1 through 14, is accidents, right? Accidents. And by the way, accidents includes firearm accidents in there. Okay, we're way, way above homicide because firearms are broken up into homicide and into accidents. So when we're talking about accidents, all children aged 1 through 14 compared to firearms accidents, automobile accidents, by the way, a child is 11 times more likely to die from an accident. Overall, they're 4 times more likely to die from birth defects. They're 3 times more likely to die of cancer. Now, here's the trick that they pull, and we've dissected this a little bit more in the past. They include numbers from 1 to 19 years old. And if you look, and I don't think that we should be including, along with 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, people who are actually tried as adults by law. If you think that a 17, 18, 19-year-old who is dying from inter-gang-related violence, that's the same as a child at home dying from a firearm accident, okay, fine, but it's dishonest. They want you, the American citizen, to believe that your child is more likely to die from a firearm than cancer, even though it's a 3-time multiple, right? 11 times when you include all their accidents, 4 times more likely to die from birth defects. It's not even close. And I don't think you're an idiot. They believe you're an idiot. I think that you know the difference between a 5, 6, 7, even, by the way, 14-year-old who dies from an accidental firearm death versus a 19-year-old in the Crips. It's not true. It's not even close to true. Also, it begs the question, why? Like Barack Obama with 77 cents on the dollar. Remember that?
Yeah.
For women, that lie. Can he not be bothered to use Google? Bing, the bent back paperclip back in the public library computers that we used to use in Microsoft Word. My point is he lying? Is he ignorant? In this case, they are very clearly lying. And why? Why are they lying? Because what they actually want to do with firearms is entirely strip you of your Second Amendment rights. Mm-hmm. And they can't do it if they tell you the truth. They can't do it if they tell you the truth that far more lives are saved by firearms each year than taken by lives. They can't do it if they tell you, hey, by the way, your children are many times more likely to die from an automobile accident or 4 times more likely to die from a birth defect than a firearm. No, they have to lie as the setup to strip you of your rights. Also, here's one other point that I would like to make really quickly, kind of unrelated. They always talk about how some of these regulations and some of these laws disproportionately affect people of color or lower income areas. Okay, so if you base it on a lie, it's the #1 killer of children in the United States. Not even true. All references available at louderwithcrowder.com. I hope I don't have to repeat myself. Just dismiss it out of hand if someone tries to bring that to you. They use that to try and say, okay, now we need background checks. Now we need to instate red flag laws. We need waiting periods. Her, meaning Gretchen Whitmer, wants you to have mandatory safes. Okay? Have you purchased a good gun safe lately? Now, again, here's the thing. You can have a safe. And by the way, my firearms in my house are locked up in a closet with a key that only I have. And I do have a biometric safe next to my bed. Why? Because I can afford it. And it's still, I have to put my finger on it 3 times for it to work. What could possibly go wrong at 4 a.m. with a robber and a head full of sleep? My point is this. Guess who won't be able to afford firearms if you have all of these regulations?
Yeah.
The people who most need them. Namely, who is a person in this country who would most benefit from a firearm? And by the way, a dog. I always say a dog is most important. A good, capable guard dog is more effective than a firearm for home defense. Who would benefit from it most in this country? There is no argument it would be a black woman.
Yeah.
A black woman in an area that is riddled with crime. They're not going to be able to afford a biometric safe. They're not going to be able to afford firearms if they're 40, 50, 60% more expensive because the left has their way. And it's all predicated on the lie that your child is at risk by the mere fact that you have a firearm in the home.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.